Welcome one and all to another edition of the Cine Geeks podcast, where movies, TV, and all things geek collide. I'm Roy, still joined by my lovely co-host Angela.
Hello again.
Hey Angela, and for this week, if you all notice, naka-audio episode muna tayo.
Yeah.
Pero
just
next
this
week,
once. Just this once, yeah.
Kasi grabe, sobrang dami din ng mga pinapanood natin yung scene lately.
Every day.
Grabe.
Since March started, actually.
That is true. Pero next week, babalik tayo to video.
Papamiss muna kami for
That's
a week.
True. Yep. For today's episode, we will be talking about a bunch of new releases that are already out this weekend. First being In Thy Name, directed by Cesar Soriano and Rocket Ruiz, written by Ruiz alongside Abet Raz and Joji Magbitang, starring Makoy De Leon, Mon Confiado, JC De Vera, and Aya Fernandez. The Day the Earth Blew Up, a Looney Tunes movie, directed by Pete Braungart. And of course, Mickey 17, written and directed by Bong Joon-ho, adapted from the novel Mickey 7 by Edward Ashton, starring Robert Pattinson, Naomi Aki, Mark Ruffalo, Toni Collette, and Steven Yeun.
Yes. But before we continue, we'd like to remind everyone who hasn't done so to follow our pod wherever you listen to podcasts like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube.
And don't forget to follow us on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Threads, Letterboxd, X, formerly known as Twitter, and Blue Sky, so you can join in on the fun. Also, visit our website, www.cinegeekspod.com, for the latest in movie and TV news and reviews.
And of course, as always, you can send in your questions, suggestions, and feedback to our email address, cinegeekspod@gmail.com. And by the way, please join us on our Facebook group called the Cinegeeks PHHQ. There you can interact with us and with your fellow Cinegeeks.
All right. So with all of that out of the way, let's go ahead and talk about our first film for this episode, In Thy Name. In Thy Name is a dramatization of the kidnapping of a number of individuals, including Father Roel Gallardo, by the Abu Sayyaf that took place in May 2000. So, as the aforementioned cast list reveals, part ng movie, si Makoy De Leon, as Father Roel Gallardo.
Yes.
Yan. And we have Mon Confiado as Abu Sabaya, JC De Vera as Gaddafi Janjalani. So,
Very familiar names.
Yes.
If you're a millennial.
yes. Actually, this is a very millennial movie.
It's plastered all over the news.
Super. As in, yung ano siya, parang hindi naman siguro umabot nung panahon na may Meteor Garden na. Pero yung ganong, yung time frame na yun.
No, this was before.
Before nga, yung panahon na yun na parang in between either anime or drama sa hapon or TV Patrol tas drama sa gabi. Yung mga ganitong, yan, sila Abu Sabaya. Sila Gaddafi Janjalani. Ay, nako. Pero let's talk about the movie. Ange, what did you think of In Thy Name?
Well, siguro, ang expectation ko was parang reporting of the events. Kasi this is not just a religious movie. Although, it is very, very much leaning into that. Kasi we also attended the media conference and parang this movie is gonna be the material they will use to push for the canonization of Father Roel Gallardo as a saint.
Yes.
So, ako, I was expecting something of a documentary style.
Parang docudrama.
Yes. Pero I was surprised. I was pleasantly surprised to see na sobra niya palang intense.
True.
And ma-action.
Oo.
So, I was taken aback in a good way.
That's true. Alam mo yung iniisip ko sa kanya habang pinapanood natin siya. Well, let's go back din sa sinabi mong yung media conference muna. Na we were invited to attend by Viva Films. Nung pinapanood sa atin yung trailer, yun na nga same. I had the same exact reaction. Parang I was pleasantly surprised with how action-packed the trailer for the movie was. So parang, hindi naman sa nagkaroon ako ng high expectations. Pero parang medyo, okay, I'm looking forward. I was looking forward to this film. And eventually, nung napanood natin siya, ang na-remind ako of the film was yung mga parang cut from the same cloth as United 93. Hindi ko sinasabi na kasing same ano siya, yung quality level. Not at all. I'm just saying na parang yung kung gaano ka visceral yung emotion that the movie makes you feel by placing you in the middle of what's happening para ramdam mo na parang andun ka din dun sa pinapanood mong event.
Yeah.
Kumbaga, dun sa United 93, it's a story of one of the planes. Ang moniker nga nung United 93 is the plane that fought back noong September 11. Siya yung nag-crash dun sa field in Pennsylvania. Dapat papunta ata siya ng Pentagon.
Yun yung sa Pentagon yata.
Yun dapat. Pero yung itong dito sa In Thy Name na you are in the middle of the abduction of these group of teachers, students, yung mga iba nga parang innocent bystanders lang. And of course, yung itong si Father Rowell. Ngayon, you also touched upon na this is parang what's being used para i-push na maging saint si Father Gallardo.
By the Claretian School.
By the Claret priests. Sa akin lang, medyo nakulangan ako doon sa yung sa sine niya pagiging kwento ni Father Rowell.
If it's gonna be used as the material talaga to submit him to be for consideration.
Or to parang PR niya kumbaga to the world. Why Father Gallardo deserves to be a saint.
Sana parang mas biopic yung approach, no?
Yes, that's true. Kasi parang ang nangyari tuloy and don't get me wrong. I appreciated this movie a lot talaga. Kasi yun na nga sobrang rare nung makapanood ka ng sine na ayoko naman sabihin of current events kasi this was 25 years ago. Pero para sa atin kasi mga millennial, sobrang fresh nung kasi araw-araw tayo nakatutok sa balita nun.
Oo, yun pa yung mga panahon na walang cellphone. Manonood ka ng TV Patrol or ng 24 oras sa ayaw at sa gusto mo.
Ano pa yun? Front page.
Sa
Channel 7.
Hindi ba Hoy Gising?
Hindi, Hoy Gising yun sa hapon. Ano yung public service yun Front page pa, Mel Chanco mag-isa.
Hindi ko naiimutan yan. What's that?
Yung TV Patrol, yun yung ever since.
Yes.
Talaga. Pero yun, tama ka nga na sobrang tumatak siya sa psyche nating mga lumaki nung early 2000s. Kasi yun, hindi lang sa TV, kahit sa dyaryo din, kahit sa radyo. It was unavoidable.
So kids, yung dyaryo pala, doon nakalagay yung news dati. Sa paper siya dati, guys. So, ayun. Just for your reference.
Yung paper, dati, may ganun, galing sa puno yun. yung ganun na parang, that millennial kid in me absolutely appreciated seeing this event that I just kept hearing about dramatized in a very intense fashion na sobrang ganda ng pagkakalente.
Yes.
Ang galing nung staging ng mga battle scenes.
Grabe. Alam mo, I agree with that completely. Kasi it almost felt like a war film.
Yan. Exactly. That's what it feels like. As a war film, it works in so many levels. Talaga.
Yes.
As a biopic, that's where the movie falls apart. Yun lang yung sa akin.
Or siguro, it falls short lang naman.
But,
it doesn't fall apart. Sige. It just falls short.
Falls short. Sige. I'll go with falls short. Kasi parang, I would have wanted na, since ang medium na ginagamit nila to tell Father Rowell's story is film. Even the best biopics, they resort to a little embellishment. Hindi naman masama yun. Mag-embellish ka, yung tamang way nun is, syempre, within good taste and within reason.
Yes.
Pero,
to fill in the blanks.
Oo. Or to make it more cinematic.
Exactly.
Diba? Pagkatas nga natin pinanood na parang ramdam ko, hindi ko alam kung mako-confirm ba to or what. Pero, there is a scene in this film na I don't know if this is parang reported in the news. Sabi ko spoiler, nangyari naman talaga to. Pero may scene doon na nag-hold ng mass si Father Rowell while in captivity
Yes.
for him and his fellow prisoners.
Yeah. Mm-mm.
I was under the impression while watching the film na yun yung parang pinaka-dramatic high point nung scene. Unfortunately, hindi tayo masyado nabigyan ng parang totems along the way na we were building up to that. Na parang wala tayong parang rising action papunta doon. Tapos biglang yung dramatic release nung biglang, ay, nakapag-hold siya ng mass. Yes. Yun yung hinahanap ko
It's a culmination of so many things that make him him.
Yes, yun. Na parang sana magkaroon tayo ng, sinasabi mo din, if I remember correctly, na tama ba ako, yung sana merong mga moments in between the story, flashing back to his life, that informed why he wanted to hold this mass.
Why it eventually became his downfall, kumbaga. Or why is this so important for him to do?
Yun
na he will risk his life just to make this happen.
Just to hold this mass. Yun lang naman yung ano ko doon. Kasi, again, as a war film, it's very well made. Talaga. Walang problema. Production design, production values.
Cinematography.
As we said earlier.
Very good.
Ganda. Pero yun nga lang, as the story of Father Rowell, falls kind of short. And
also, yung ano din, yung, well, this is a little bit of a spoiler, pero, well, totoo naman, nangyari naman, namatay si Father Gallardo.
Yeah, I mean, kaya nga siya up for sainthood.
Yes.
Ano bang saint na buhay?
Hindi ko alam. Pero, ayun nga, yung moment of death niya, parang, it just happened. Yun yung parang medyo, ito na it was building up to this.
Yeah.
This was his story. This was his ultimate sacrifice.
Yeah.
Ito na yung moment na magde-define dito sa events na to eh.
Yes.
And it just happened abruptly.
Napaka-matter of factly niyang nangyari. Hindi siya na highlight. Or parang, at least, moment, hindi siya naging moment all caps in the movie.
Parang there was no catharsis there.
True.
Kahit na, yun nga yung, you were saying about embellishment, meron namang parang konting creative license to actually frame that in such a way na, alam mo yon, it serves the story. Doesn't mean you're lying.
That's true.
Pero, yun nga parang it's still a movie. So, it has to be satisfying for the viewer. And also, laki na nung emotional build-up We need that release.
Tama. Again, by no means is this a bad film.
Oh, it's not.
It's not. It's with one of the most well-made, actually.
And the performances din.
Ayun, hindi pa natin nasisimulan yung sa performances pa pala. Makoy de Leon is a revelation.
Oh, he
for
was.
me. Kasi talagang parang, alam kong lumalabas siya sa TV. Again,
as a villain, actually.
I don't watch TV. Pero, seeing him here, parang, wow, okay, this guy's good. More of this kind of roles for him. And I think, parang siyang, ayoko naman sabihin na, parang, sino to? Si Cedric Juan sa Gomborza. Pero parang siyang ganun na parang,
yung vulnerability.
Oo. Tsaka yung parang, okay, wow, okay, he really demonstrated what he can do. Talaga. Mon Confiado. Wow.
Yeah.
Bang klase.
Does he do anything that's not good?
Kahit nga hindi maganda yung scene na kasama siya pa rin yung pinakamagandang part lagi.
Yeah.
Diba?
He really is a gem.
Tama. Akatawa, sa pang masabi ko lang din, si Soliman Cruz.
Yeah.
Yes. One of the Cinegeek's favorite actors.
Yes, character actors.
I mean, sige, masabi ko lang din, since si Soliman Cruz always comes out in, siguro taon-taon, nasa Cinemalaya siya.
He always delivers.
Naisip ko nga na parang pwedeng pang Cinemalaya din tong In Thy Name May ganun siyang parang klaseng, yung indie swagger, kumbaga.
Actually, si Ping din.
Ayun.
Ay,
Yun.
no. Sorry, Alex
Si
Medina.
Alex, oo.
And
Si Pen. In
Pen
a very,
Medina
in a
also.
very, very short, but memorable cameo, I guess.
Si ano din,
Sino pa?
yung isang sa mga Abu Sayyaf na gunman, yung bata, yung nandun sa duyan ng Magiting.
Ay, oo nga. Wait.
Siya yung bata dun sa MTRCB.
Hindi,
Yung basta. Kasama mga magulang yun.
Oo. Nga pala, akala ko sino. Wait.
Si
Yun.
Dylan Ray. Yan.
Si Abu Hassan.
Ano din siya, Sinimalaya favorite din.
Oo. Yan. Feeling ko nga mapapanood natin siya dun sa scene ni Dustin. Pagdating na sa Himalaya.
Oo.
Anyway, yun. I mean, ayun. Gold Asiron pa pala. Sobrang, alam mo yung, this movie has an embarrassment of riches in terms of acting. Kaya talaga wala akong masabi sa kanya in terms of yung as a movie, how it's made, how it's acted. Talagang lang, parang bilang kwento ni Father Gallardo. Just, parang, more please. More of him pa.
Yes.
Yun. Ikaw, anything to add? Before
Although,
we,
I like naman how they depicted the conflict ng Abu Sayyaf
oo.
and yung mga prisoners na this has nothing to do with, Christianity and
Versus the
Islam.
Muslims,
Yeah. It was clear naman na talagang these are extremists and
True.
they do not speak for the whole Islam community there in
That's
Mindanao.
That's true.
That was very sensitive and napaka-considerate naman ni Direk for actually putting a focus on that na this is not a fight between Christians and Muslims.
Oo. And after the screening, nakausap natin si Direk Cesar. And sinabi niya na yung kaya ganun ka, I guess, tama ka sabi mong term, sensitive, yung handling niya. The conflict was because he was also abducted by the Abu Sayyaf in 94. Tama ba?
Yes, if I remember correctly.
Oo. And yung siguro meron siyang first-hand experience meron siyang first-hand experience doon sa kung gaano hindi na represented ng Abu Sayyaf yung Islam Hindi, yun nga, it's just extremism. It's just people just being evil. Yun lang.
True.
Hindi siya parang may pinaglalaban na religious cause
Or rights.
Or rights, yeah. So, I guess that's it for In Thy Name. And for this movie, we're gonna be giving it a solid B.
Yeah.
Still worthy of your time if you're into movies like this. Yan.
All right. Let's now go over to the next film in this episode. The Day the Earth Blew Up, a Looney Tunes movie. Due to a series of antics at the bubblegum factory, Daffy Duck and Porky Pig discover a secret alien plot to take over the Earth via mind control. The duo must work together to stop the aliens with a little help from Petunia Pig while trying to avoid driving each other insane. Sounds family. Yeah, so Looney Tunes. So kids, yung Looney Tunes.
Kids, merong something, ang tawag, cartoons noon.
Okay, sige. Without any further ado, Roy, sige. Simulan na natin. What did you think of The Day the Earth Blew Up, a Looney Tunes movie? Abri.
I loved it.
Galing.
I loved it. Alam mo yung and I mean this in the best way possible. Para siyang yung mga pinapanood nating cartoon sa Cartoon Network nung araw.
Hindi siya parang, ito talaga yun.
I mean, yun, it's a feature-length version of the cartoons that we watched before.
Yes, I agree.
Just to temper everybody's expectations, walang ibang Looney Tunes na lumabas dito. So, it's just Daffy, it's just Porky Pig, and Petunia Pig. So, tatlo lang sila. I mean, ako, syempre, parang, sana lumabas yan. Makalalabas si Bugs Bunny dyan. Wala labas bigyan si Tasmanian Devil. Wala pa sila.
No.
Wala pa sila dito. Pwede. Pero, hopefully. Pero as far as yung itong movie na to, nakakatuwa siya kasi, syempre, yun na nga, I'm gonna cheat, kumbaga, and say na, this is the right kind of nostalgia hit.
Para na naman sa millennials,
Para
no?
sa millennial. Kahit nga sa mga magulang eh. Yung mas matanda, mga
Lakas ng tawa ng mga magulang
Gen X.
eh.
Actually, oo. By the
Diba?
way, we were invited to watch this by 888 Films International.
Mhm.
So thank you very much for that. Dun sa screening nung
Yung mga magulang yung nag-e-enjoy.
yung mga matatanda yung nagtatawa.
And also, we get the subliminal jokes now.
Yun. Kasi syempre, nung panahon natin, yung mga ganyan Looney Tunes, hindi natin mag-gets yung mga double entendre.
Oo.
Yung mga joke na gano'n.
It just flies over our
Oo,
head.
parang kung tawa tayo ng tawa, di natin alam kung bakit. Ngayon, parang mas nakakatawa siya kasi,
Gotcha!
alam ko na kung ano yun. Gago kayo Looney Tunes,
Oo nga, mga bata pa kami nun yung mga nilalagay yung jokes
Kaya pala ganun yung sense of humor. Lumaki tayo sa ganun.
Oo nga, tama.
Pero yun na nga siya. Ayokong sabihin naman din na parang siyang critic proof. Yung itong kasi parang sobrang niyang close to our hearts itong Looney Tunes. Pero
Yeah.
it's a fun time. It's so much fun. It's exactly what you would expect from a Looney Tunes movie. Don't expect nuance. Don't expect depth. Just
Don't expect moral lessons from the Looney Tunes.
walang moral lesson dito. Just have fun. Yun, alam mo yung ako maano ko dito is for us millennials and mga Gen Xers din na may mga anak ng maliliit. Dalayin niyo yung mga anak niyo dito para ma-introduce sila sa Looney Tunes. Wag puro Roblox Dagdagan niyo naman ng Looney Tunes din. Ikaw, sorry.
This is like a pillar of our childhood eh.
Oo.
Pero yun nga, isa sa notice ko actually, hindi siya digital animation.
I know.
No?
This was hand-drawn.
Hand-drawn. Yun yung parang hallmark ng animation na kinagisnan natin. It's always hand-drawn. And kita mo, kasi hindi siya perfect.
Yes.
The opening of the mouths, it's not CGI.
Yes, CG.
So parang,
Hindi siya full CG. Meron naman, pero hindi full.
meron, pero, ayun nga yung art style can be appreciated more here. Kasi talagang, you know na, these are artists that did this.
Yes,
They're not
that's
just
true.
Computer animation. Yon. So, doon ako na-amaze na parang, oh my God, yung pagkabata natin, we have been watching hand-drawn animation.
Yeah. Oo.
Oo.
Hand-drawn
Ngayon kasi ang
animation is
dali
the
na
best
lang.
animation. Yes.
Ang dali na lang ngayon sa AI. You can just generate it within seconds, di ba?
True.
But this, talagang tinuunan nila or pinagpaguran talaga to ng mga artists na dinrowing talaga nila literal with their hands.
That's true. And ramdam mo din na yung gumawa nitong movie na to, everybody who worked in it really loves and understands what the Looney Tunes stand for. Hindi siya yung parang yung phenomena with IP nowadays na gagamitin yung existing na Star Wars. Tapos magso-soapbox yung mga acting creative ngayon na halimbawa Acolyte.
Gagamitin na parang virtue
signaling. Hindi, this is just straight up loony fun.
Exactly.
Yan.
Parang hindi naman biglang ginawa si Daffy Duck na conscientious.
Oo.
Or ginawa si Porky Pig bigla na politically correct. I love that.
Talagang they kept what made these characters so beloved for almost
Decades.
80, 70 years na ba?
O, diba?
You see, ganun, this kind of humor stands the test of time. Because it's universal. It's cartoons. It's humor. It's funny. These characters are funny. There's nothing else to be mined from something like this. Hindi, not to say din naman na parang vapid siya or mababaw. Hindi eh. Pero kasi parang not everything has to be deep.
Exactly.
Not everything has to be PC. I dread to use the W word. Pero yun, not everything has to be like that.
Well, I can say it. Not everything has to be woke.
Yan. True. Just has to be fun.
Pure fun.
That's
It's just entertaining.
Just entertainment. I just going back to the film, mabilisan na lang. Nakakatuwa kasi yung parang ginagamit niyang humor. Kung noon parang yung mga double entendre, slapstick, ganyan. Eto dito sa the Day the Earth Blew Up. Marami niyang meta humor. Alam nilang
self-aware.
Alam nilang cartoon sila. Yun natutuwa ako dun eh. Yun din yung isang alam ng yung biggest pillar of humor nitong Looney Tunes eh. Na wala sa kina Mickey Mouse eh. Sa Looney Tunes kasi alam nilang cartoons sila.
Yeah.
Yon. And they're poking fun at the fact that they're cartoons. May isang moment dito na parang yung na kailangan nila mag-raise ng funds.
Oo.
Tapos yung nagkaroon ng montage nung parang mag-artista na lang daw ba sila?
Mag-influencer na lang.
Mag-influencer sila. Tapos yung may parang may box sa labas ng bahay nila. Nakatulad nung yung That's All Folks. Yung ganun, nakakatuwa yung ganung mga touches nila sa humor. Yun. Ikaw, anything else ba?
Kailan si Bugs Bunny?
May post-credit scene to.
So don't leave just yet.
Wag kayong aalis agad. Hinting probably.
Hopefully.
Hopefully.
If this performs well.
Oo, sana. Ikaw, anong magbibigay mong rating dito?
For this, I'm gonna give it a rating of B+.
Same. Sige, I'll give it a B+. It doesn't punch above its weight.
It's exactly what we expected.
Nor does it try to be more than what it is. It knows exactly what it is and does it well.
Yes.
Yan. Which is just
sometimes that's enough.
Just become fun. Yun lang.
And remind us of our childhood.
Tama. Oo. Tsaka parang sa mga hindi ko ma-picture pa rin. May mga kaedad tayo na may mga anak na. Wow,
grabe bata.
yung mga kaedad namin na may anak na, dalhin niyo to. Pangaralan niyo ng Looney Tunes yan. Kailangan lumaki yan na kilala niyan si Bugs Bunny at si Daffy Duck.
Meron tayong 4 na Sylvester.
Tasmanian Devil nga ito mga Kasi sa feeling niya Tweety Bird siya.
Nanonood sila lagi ng Tweety Birds sa window.
Sa bintana, tama. Okay, sige. Eto na. Let's now move on to the final film for this episode, the much anticipated Mickey 17. Mickey Barnes is an expendable, a disposable crew member on a space mission selected for dangerous tasks because he can be resurrected if his body dies, with his memories largely intact. However, one regeneration goes horribly wrong.
Whoa.
Hindi to horror. It's not a horror film. Ay nako. Ange, what did you think of Mickey 17?
Siyempre, mataas ang expectation ko dito as a
Agree.
Bong Joon-ho fan.
Yes.
Remember the origin of
Stratospheric.
this channel or of this platform?
Tama.
It all started with Parasite.
Nagtry tayo mag-podcast once upon a time. Tapos sinabot tayo ng 3 oras tapos hindi natin alam kung paano i-edit. Kaya sige, bala na eh.
Mas mahaba pa din sa movie.
Mas mahaba pa sa sine yung podcast. sorry, go. Continue.
Well, I did not read the book.
Same.
Pero, yeah.
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 Sige, ako na naman ako. Sige, ako. Tama ka sa sinabi mo.
Dun sa ya?
Yeah. Sa ya. Yun nga, we have very, very high expectations for the next Bong Joon-ho film. Especially since the last one, again, is the aforementioned Best Picture, Academy
Palme d'Or.
Award-winning, Palme d'Or winning film, Parasite. And, I mean, Bong Joon-ho is one of our personal favorite filmmakers.
Yes.
I mean, we have a freaking book. May coffee table book tayo sa bahay
Yes, with
about
this face on it.
na lahat ng mga scene niya. Kahit yung mga short film niya. Meron siyang isang short film pinapanood ko sa isang movie.
Ay, oo. Favorite ko yun.
Ako din. I love, alam mo yung grabe lang yun, wala pang 30 minutes. Pero nakapagpasok siya ng sobrang knee-slapping humor.
Oo.
Tapos yung gut punch
punch sa
niya nung
dulo,
political
grabe.
statement niya sa dulo. Parang, oh, yes, Bong Joon-ho. Woo!
Yes.
Yeah! Yun ganun. Yun
This is what film should be.
Tama. Tapos, may mga iba naman siya mga sine na wala naman masyado sigurong overt political statement. Kasi lagi namang meron eh. May mga iba more obvious than others.
Yes.
Like, let's say, yung The Host.
Or Okja.
Hindi. Yung The Host muna, yun yung parang hindi masyadong obvious yung political allegory niya.
Yes. True.
Yun. kung talagang hinahanap mo, makikita mo siya. Pero you can treat it as a monster movie.
Yes.
It's plain and simple.
Oo.
Yung sa Okja naman, yun yung talagang, yes. Kumbaga ano siya, politics. Pig politics, the movie. Pak, ganun siya bigla.
Aww.
Yan. Tapos kakasamgyupsal lang natin kanina. No? Biglang Okja na
nga
usapan natin. Anyway, yung ganon. Kaya sobrang galing ni Bong Joon-ho. Dito, sa Mickey 17, masasabi ko, sobrang galing ni Robert Pattinson.
Yes.
Yan, okay? Sobrang yung eye ni Bong Joon-ho in directing everybody, especially Pattinson, dandun kita mo yung kung paano yung signature, his fingerprints is all over the film. Syempre, merong konting concessions, kumbaga, for the Hollywood system. Yun, kasi ito yung, if I'm not mistaken, his first parang talagang big Hollywood studio system film since Okja. Or Snowpiercer.
Hindi ba Snowpiercer? Alam ko Snowpiercer yung una niyang English.
Pero kasi yung Snowpiercer kasi parang may sort of indie-ish siya eh.
Sa bagay.
Yun eh. Ito kasi parang it's a Warner Brothers thing. So alam mong meron siyang big budget. Alam mong meron siyang mga quote-unquote boss amo na kailangang pasayahin sa ginagawa niya. Pero in spite of that, you can still see the Bong Joon-ho fingerprints on screen, which is something that I appreciated. Yun yung kinakatakot ko eh. Nung papanoorin pa lang natin to,
mawalan siya ng voice.
Mawalan siya ng pangil. Hindi, his voice is as potent as ever. Talaga. Going back to the actors, Mark Ruffalo seems to be...
Nicolette din, no?
Both of them seem to be having the time of their lives.
They were enjoying.
Yes, hamming it up.
Ham.
Saucing it up. And Naomi Aki, continuing her great work mula sa Blink Twice.
Ay, did you know na she shot pala Blink Twice and Mickey 17 side by side?
Ay, nakita ko yan. Yung interview niya sa Letterboxd ba yan? Na parang sabi niya na sobrang nahirapan siyang mag-compartmentalize na, shit, asa na ba akong sine?
I mean, yeah, that can do a number on her talaga.
That's true.
Parehas pang parang medyo thought-provoking.
Oo. Pero, pumunta na tayo dun sa pero section neto. This feels like his, kumbaga, yung kay Damien Chazelle, naalala mo yung Babylon?
You love that film, di ba?
In spite of its flaws, and I will readily agree na it has a lot of flaws, yung Babylon, I loved it. Oo. Pero, yun na nga, it's symptomatic of an auteur gone wild. Gone wild. Parang siya nag-carte blanche. Parang, sige, gawin mo lahat ng gusto mo. Biglang, nag-splooge naman siya bigla on screen. Sobrang dami naman.
It felt so bloated.
Yun.
No?
It did.
If the comparison to Babylon is what that implies.
Oh, yeah. Yes, yun lang naman.
Or self-indulgent?
Hindi, ayoko sabing self-indulgent eh. Kasi para siyang all of the things that he said on screen as writer and director needed to be said. Pero, sobra niyang it felt disjointed, some of the plot points.
True.
Kasi meron siyang statement on religion. Meron siyang statement on eugenics. Meron siyang statement on animal politics. Oh, yun. And animal cruelty. Ang dami niyang gustong sabihin. There was a way siguro to parang do this all in an elegant manner. Pero he chose to attack each subplot as a separate parang subplot, kumbaga. Hindi siya intertwining.
Exactly.
Yan.
Alam mo, I wonder how much of the book he put in the movie. Kasi that may be to his detriment eh. Baka just to please the book readers or to really put in as much book material as possible in the movie, nagsuffer na yung narrative. Kasi you can't put everything in there.
That's true. Alam mo yung, and I was reading up on yung source material, yung Mickey 7. Ang isa sa mga, isa sa mga feedback tungkol dun sa book is it's a multi-layered, entertaining story. Sige, we'll take it at that. Pero kasi if you call a book multi-layered, ibig sabihin nun, there are so many things happening.
Yes.
in the book.
Daming characters.
Oo. And as a book, that method of storytelling is okay. It's even encouraged. Na, sige, ang dami plot points. Plop, 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 plop.
It can work.
It can work. However, in a movie, we need coherence
And focus.
and focus. The reason why Parasite worked so well is sobrang razor sharp nung focus niya dun sa gusto niyang sabihin. Using these elements, these characters, and the setting, and every element of film na at his disposal, sobrang alam niya kung saan niya gustong pumunta eh.
Exactly.
Meron siyang patutunguhang dulo. And it was gonna get there no matter what. And all yung kwento ng rich people, kwento ng poor family, nag-i-intertwine sila.
Merong rhyme eh.
Oo.
May poetry.
May synergy. Yung lahat ng part ng kwento. Kaya sobrang perfect nung Parasite na scene.
Sobrang satisfying din.
Yes.
I wonder. Sorry to cut
Sige,
you.
sige.
I wonder, adapted ba yung Parasite?
Hindi, original niya yun.
So maybe he's in his best element kung original writing niya, no?
Ako, yes I totally believe na he should be focusing on his original work. Kasi, pero, to his credit din naman, bakit yung Snowpiercer?
Also adapted.
That was adapted from a comic book. Pero yun, sobrang, hindi ko, siguro may bias ako. Sige, sa mga K-pop, di ba may bias? Ang bias ko si Bong Joon-ho.
Okay.
So, bias ko si Bong Joon-ho. Ayokong i-put sa kanya fully yung blame dito. Kasi we know what he can do.
Yes. We know what he's capable of.
Oo naman. I mean, Diyos ko Mariosep. Tinan mo naman. Ito, he only has 8 films to his name. Pero my God, those are 8 of the best films you can ever watch. I mean, kung meron ka lang 8 films na pwedeng panoorin sa buong buhay mo, ito, kasama ng Mickey 17. Sama mo siya. Panoorin mo na lang yung filmography ni Bong Joon-ho.
Para sa ito sa stomach ko, hindi Mickey 17. Sorry.
Well, sige, fine. Pero, unique. Tingnan mo yung 8 yan. One of these things is not like the other.
Diba?
Yan. Yun lang.
Some are more impactful and much more powerful than the others.
True. Ito nga masabi ko, yung Okja nun, nung pinanood natin dati, medyo ano pa ako nun, parang dami naman nangyayari dito. Pero at least kahit papaano, meron tayong singular na focus doon. Yung baboy. Yan lang. Sige lang, nakatutok lang tayo lahat sa baboy. Kahit ang dami na nating mga side plots, side characters na nagsusulputan. Pero at least, nakatutok tayo dun sa, Yes,
where's our baboy?
Andito yun, somewhere.
Ito.
Ayun. Anyway, at least nakafocus tayo kay Okja. Walang nakakatanggal ng focus nun dun sa narrative propulsion ng sine. Dito kasi sa Mickey, meron tayo ng kwento ni Mickey. Why he decided to go off planet. Okay? Meron tayong subplot na yung pagkakaibigan niya kasama ni Steven yun. Meron tayong subplot dun sa kanyang why he is resurrected every time. So the ethics of that. So if you're keeping track, nakakatatlo na tayong subplot doon. Tapos meron pa tayong subplot nung kay Mark Ruffalo. Yung pseudo-religio-political
politics niya.
Yung mix na yung pinapaano niya. Yung pangapa din. Tapos meron pa tayong
kay Naomi Aki pa.
Yung kay Naomi Aki.
Yung relationship nila.
Yun, yung relationship niya. Tapos yung kay Mark Ruffalo, meron pa siyang parang allegory for white supremacy. Tapos, eventually, pagbaba natin, meron tayong animal cruelty. That's 7.
And meron pa nga well, a sub-category ng animal cruelty is animal testing. Parang gano'n.
8. We have 8 subplots all running at the same time. And
if you look at it from the grand scheme of things nga, kahit yung xenophobia, meron pang ganun.
Meron pang ganun. Ano mo yung, sorry, I love Steven Yeun, but his character had to go.
Yeah.
Wala siyang naidagdag dun sa... Alam mo kung paano lang siya, yung ano na niyan, he was just in it para lang...
Nexus being siya.
Diba? Diba dapat siya si Sentry? Sa Thunderbolts dapat. Well. Andun lang siya sa sine para lang meron silang bubugbugin para makuha yung baril dun sa ending nito. Yun lang.
Which is weird.
That was it.
Pero ang dami niyang screen time, tas ang dami niyang, may mga plot lines nga siya na hindi naman masyadong rewarded.
That is true. Ayoko, yun nga, it feels so bad talking about a Bong Joon-ho film in this manner. Pero kasi para siyang, you have to learn to call out the things you love for it to be better. I mean, alam ko naman na hindi makakaabot kay Bong Joon-ho tong pinagsasabi natin. Pero alam mo yung parang maganda na dapat merong perspective na if you love something or you appreciate it so much, yun yung isang bagay sa buhay mo na hindi mo pwedeng tignan with rose-colored glasses.
Oo.
Yan.
Kasi it's true na Bong Joon-ho is one of our favorites. He's at the top.
Oo.
Pero, alam mo yun, we don't just blindly worship everything he does.
Yes.
And ito nga, this movie has a lot of flaws and we can see through all the mistakes and that's okay.
Yeah.
Hindi porket nakikita natin siya as a prolific director does not mean that he can't make mistakes or that he can never do wrong.
Oo. Kasi if anything pa nga, I hope na, and I trust na he has enough self-awareness to know na parang this is not one of his cleaner, kumbaga, na work.
Mga pulido.
Pulido. Hindi kasing pulido nung last.
Alam mo, nagme-make sense nga na hindi niya to nilaban sa Oscars eh.
Diba?
Kasi marami nagsasabi, marami nag-aabang ng next project niya after Parasite.
Kailan pa to dapat? Alam ko dapat na to eh. Parang
Within
last year.
the Oscar season.
Di ba dapat last year pa to lumabas?
Oo. Delayed siya.
Dinelay siya. Oo, ayun. Kita na natin yung release date. Originally released on March 29, 2024. Yan.
Isang taon halos.
But was taken off due to SAG. Okay. Scheduled for release January 31st, 2025. So dapat pa. Pero yun nga, magiging dapat right smack dab siya in Oscar season, kumbaga.
Oo.
Pero, sorry. This is not.
He was right not to.
This is not his best work. Kumbaga. And
We love Bong Joon-ho.
Yes.
That's coming from us.
Yung social commentary niya is as sharp as ever. Wala akong problema doon.
Just too many.
Ang dami niyang parang uy. Focus tayo.
Relax.
Oo.
This is not your last movie.
Pwede pa tayong gumawa ng isa pang sine pa. Kung gusto mo mag-focus sa xenophobia, di gumawa ka ng sine na solo lang yun. Gusto mong gumawa ng animal cruelty yun, di ba may okja ka na?
Eugenics. Kung eugenics lang, I hope nga, doon na lang siya nag-focus eh.
Yun na nga, isa na nga nag-focus siya dun sa yung ethical conundrum ng existence ni Mickey 17 and 18. Ni Mickey 18. Yes.
I wish doon tayo nag-focus sa duality din. Na what does it mean, yung consciousness, if it's split into two. Parang, who is Mickey, really?
Ano nga kasi, eto, sige, last point ko na lang to, baka maging mapahaba pa tayo. Yung si 17 at saka si 18 reminded me a lot of yung episode sa Star Trek, the original series. Yung The Enemy Within. Na nagkaroon ng transporter accident si Kirk. Tapos nahiwalay siya.
Yes.
Tapos nagkaroon nung parang Kirk na, nagkaroon siya ng evil twin. Pero hindi siya yung evil twin na cliche sa kwento. Yung evil twin niya na parang yung lahat nung gaspang. Yung toxicity ni Kirk. Nawala sa kanya. Naging isang complete person yun mag-isa. Ang ending, yung good Kirk naman, good nga siya, pero napaka-docile naman niya, napaka-wimp naman niya. Wala siyang
survival instinct.
Yun, wala siyang survival instinct. So parang ang lumalabas na, yun, si 17, para siyang ganun. Siya yung medyo mabait, siya yung parang, sige, go with the flow tayo. Tapos nung ginawa si 18, siya yung sobrang garapal naman na gaspang ugali.
Both are part of him.
Yes.
Parehas essential.
That's true.
So yun yung lesson dapat sana.
So sa akin, nag-focus na lang siya dun.
Heavy sci-fi siya, pero may philosophical din.
Tapos lagyan na ng signature Bong Joon-ho of humor. Yung kwentong yun. Mas malinis sana yun dun.
May isa pa nga akong na-observe para rin siyang Doctor Who episode.
Oo nga.
In terms of the treatment of the alien.
True. Oo.
And
Yan.
yung ano din, yung may duality, may nagko-clone, ganyan. It's very Doctor Who.
Very, very Tenant Who. Ganun. Ay, nako. I'm still going to recommend this film. Kasi this is, it's better than 90% of what's coming out in cinemas nowadays. And of course, being one of our best living auteurs, you should never pass up the chance to see a Bong Joon-ho film in the cinema. You must see this. Pero yun lang, just know na it's not Parasite. Yan.
It's no Parasite.
It's no Parasite. Temper your expectations. I mean, possibly, fellow Cinegeeks out there, baka magustuhan nyo. Hindi namin sinasabi na mali yun, na magustuhan nyo. Pero sa amin lang para siyang, mid siya. Mid Bong Joon-ho.
If anything, just watch his other films. Okja, The Host, Snowpiercer, Memories of Murder.
Oo naman. Pero, they shouldn't miss this as well. Pero yung kumbaga, gusto naman ng peak Bong Joon-ho, yun, yung mga nilista mo. Yun, talaga.
Well, after watching this, pwede.
Oo. Yes, pero nyo muna tapos manood kayo ng ng mga ibang Bong Joon-ho.
So, rating?
Rating natin, it's a B+.
Same.
Oo. Medyo masakit sa dibdib ibigay yun, pero we know he can do better. Of course, God damn it, we know he can do better.
Yes.
Jesus Christ. The last film he did was the best, one of the best films ever.
Nasa top 4 ko yun sa Letterboxd.
Oh, di ba? Nasa favorites natin yun, di ba? Oh, yan. See? Ay, Bong, you can
B
do
for
better.
Bong.
B for Bong. B plus.
For Bong plus Ho. Okay.
Ay, nako. Anyway, so that's our episode talking about Mickey 17, The Day the Earth Blew Up, and In Thy Name. If you've seen any or all of these films, please share with us what you thought about them. We'd love to hear from you. Comment it on the YouTube comment section, on the Spotify episode page, on our social media accounts.
Don't forget to set your players to automatically download our new episodes so you don't miss out on our fun Cinegeek conversations. And while you're at it, give us a 5-star rating on Spotify and Apple Podcasts and a thumbs up on YouTube if you had fun or learned something new during this episode.
As always, the studio and distributor of the films weren't given any creative control or editorial approval of this episode. They are hearing our reviews of their films for the first time, same as you are.
For my co-host Roy, this has been Angela. Thank you for listening to the Cinegeeks podcast, where movies, TV, and all things geek collide.